All of these shows are about totally different things, but they all have two things clearly in common. They've been met with critical acclaim, and they're all from HBO. HBO has been at the forefront of television for quite some time, handling the transition from a more broadcast-focused TV viewing society towards the Netflix-oriented modern viewer with their original programming. And I think one of the reasons that HBO specifically was able to start making this transition successfully is because of the fact that it produces excellent and consistent content, a core necessity of any entertainment company. Somewhat uniquely, however, HBO is also a network which produces highly rated content in many different genres. Game of Thrones takes you to a medieval fantasy world, Westworld to a dystopian future, while Silicon Valley and Veep show satirical, funny alternates to the real world.
I've always wanted to be part of a suicide pact.
What? That's not what we're doing.
So what ties these shows together? What makes them feel like HBO shows, aside from the fact that they all have unique premises? Probably the most important aspect is that all of HBO's narrative shows seek to answer some kind of fundamental, almost philosophical question, and they do so through strong character and writing. Framing this writing with original circumstances and plot, no matter how outlandish or satirical, lets HBO shows be unique while also feeling like they are quality television that is still entertaining to watch. For an example of this, let's take a look at HBO's most successful show, Game of Thrones. In a show set in a medieval fantasy world, it all revolves around one thing: power. Through seeing the multitude of different storylines in the show, we see what the quest for power does to people and how it affects those around them. The fight scenes are epic, the visuals are stunning, but really, what holds the show together are its characters, all somehow connected with quests for power. We see how it shapes people, how it motivates them, and how it consumes them. But every scene in the show has something to do with someone seeking power.
Power resides where men believe it resides. It's a trick, a shadow on the wall. And a very small man can cast a very large shadow.
Similarly, Westworld, with its multiple, albeit connected and contained stories, bases itself around the concept of questions about humanity. What does it mean to be human? What is humanity really like? By taking these questions and setting them in a futuristic world and the Wild West at the same time, HBO is able to create a show that is entertaining, but also incredibly deep and complex. Of course, HBO by far isn't the only network to create shows based around a single central concept, but I'd argue that what makes many of HBO's shows a cut above the rest is their ability to do so while framing those stories with conversations and character. Let's go back to Game of Thrones for a good example.
1,000 blades, taken from the hands of Aegon's fallen enemies, forged in the fiery breath of Balerion the Dread.
There aren't 1,000 blades. There aren't even 200. I've counted.
I'm sure you have. Ugly old thing.
Yet it has a certain appeal.
The Lysa Arryn of chairs.
Immediately, less than a minute in, we see each character's motivation. Varys is skeptical of the power which comes with ruling the Seven Kingdoms, which we can see by him calling the Iron Throne an ugly old thing. Peter Baelish, on the other hand, is clearly after nothing but that power.
Yes. Shame you had to settle for your second choice.
Early days, my friend.
It is flattering.
Really? You feeling such dread at the prospect of me getting what I want?
Thwarting you has never been my primary ambition, I promise you. Although who doesn't like to see their friends fail now and then?
By setting up character motivation so quickly and effectively, the show is able to arrive at the conclusion about power effectively and quickly. Even though the characters are talking abstractly, their motivations are set up. This is a great example of how themes, in this case using chaos for power, can be portrayed through simple character and dialogue.
I did what I did for the good of the realm.
The realm? Do you know what the realm is? It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agreed to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
But what do we have left once we abandon the lie? Chaos. A gaping pit waiting to swallow us all.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. Many who try to climb it fail, and never get to try again. The fall breaks them. And some are given a chance to climb, but they refuse. They cling to the realm, or the gods, or love. Illusions. Only the ladder is real. The climb is all there is.
Game of Thrones by far isn't the only show to do this. Westworld and Silicon Valley do the same, though Silicon Valley frames its themes, questions of what success means in the modern world and whether everyone can handle it, through jokes, as well as conversation. By grounding its shows in character, and using those characters effectively to express specific themes, concepts, or philosophical questions, HBO is able to consistently produce content which is not only entertaining, but engaging and thought-provoking.